and thank you for tuning in to Cooking with the IAMLA. Italians, like most Old World cultures, have their versions of Easter bread, or Pane de Pasqua. And today we're going to be making one type of Italian Easter bread known as Cuzzupa. But before we get started, let's examine the history behind this delectable Eastertime treat. Next to Christmas, Easter is the most important religious holiday in Italy. Settimana Santa, or the week leading up to Easter, is a solemn time marked with ancient processions commemorating the Passion of Christ. You'll find elaborate religious ceremonies across Italy, including in Sulmona, Abruzzo, which culminates Holy Week with a ritual known as La Madonna che Scappa, or the Running Madonna, which dramatizes the moment when Mary sees her resurrected son and runs to meet him. While many of these practices did not continue in the United States, Italian immigrants did maintain a strong sense of faith, family, and community, as well as a variety of culinary traditions associated with Easter. On Italian-American Easter tables, you'll find specialties such as pastiera, a sweet, citrus-scented Neapolitan tart made with wheat and ricotta, along with Torta Pasqualina, a savory pie typical to Liguria that is filled with vegetables, cheese, and whole eggs. Cuzzupa originates in the region of Calabria, the toe of Italy's boot. The rich and aromatic, slightly sweet, brioche-like bread is punctuated with plump raisins and the earthy notes of cinnamon. Nestled into the dough are decorated eggs. A simple icing and colored sprinkles complete the loaves. Without doubt, it is one of the most popular types of Italian Easter bread. The word Cuzzupa is believed to come from the ancient Greek word kolira, which means loaf, though others contend it is derived from koups, the Arabic word for bread. Beginning in the 8th century BCE, southern Italy was heavily populated by Greeks and was referred to as Magna Graecia. The culinary influence of Arabs, who ruled southern Italy between the years 831 and 1061 CE, is also widely felt. You'll find variations of Cuzzupa throughout the Mezzogiorno, not only in Calabria, but in Sicily, Basilicata, Sardinia, and Puglia, where it is known by a number of names and takes a variety of forms. During pagan times, the braided loaves were symbols of fertility. The rising dough represented the swollen belly of a pregnant woman or animal, and the braids were often prepared at the beginning of spring in honor of Persephone and Demeter, the goddesses of earth and fertility. With the dawn of Christianity, the three-stranded braids came to signify the Holy Trinity. The egg, another pagan symbol of fertility, was reinterpreted to represent eternal life and Christ's resurrection. The sweet, egg-enriched bread also signaled the end of the Lenten fast, as Lent, the 40-day period before Easter, was a time for abstaining from eating meat and animal products. The recipe for Cuzzupa that we're preparing originates in a small town in Calabria and was brought to the United States a century ago by my grandfather, Mercurio. Cuzzupa is not only delicious, it's super easy to make, even if you aren't the most experienced baker, and it's a perfect centerpiece for your Easter brunch. We're going to demonstrate how to mix and knead the dough by hand, but if you have a bread machine or a stand mixer with a dough attachment, it will definitely make for a less labor-intensive process. Start by blooming the yeast. Blooming is a simple process through which yeast is prepared to do its magic. Take 2 packages or 5 teaspoons active dry yeast and sprinkle it in about 1/2 cup of warm water. You'll see it begin to transform. Next, we're going to mix together the dry ingredients. Combine 7 cups flour, 1 cup sugar, a teaspoon salt, and a teaspoon cinnamon, and sift together to incorporate. Then, Beat together 4 eggs and add them to the dry ingredients along with 1/2 cup melted butter, between 1/2 and 3/4 cup warm milk, and the bloomed yeast. Mix together well to ensure that all the ingredients are incorporated. Continue to mix together until a shaggy dough forms. Then add 1 to 1.5 cups raisins. For this recipe, we're using a combination of black and golden raisins. Turn out the dough onto a floured surface and knead for about 7 minutes until soft and smooth. Cover the dough and place it in a warm, draft-free area. Allow it to rise about 1.5 hours until the dough has doubled in bulk. Now we're ready to shape the dough. Divide the dough in half or quarters, depending on the size of the loaves you'd like to make. Then separate each portion of dough into 2 or 3 equal-sized pieces and gently stretch to form ropes. Loosely braid or twist the ropes together to create a basket, nest, braided loaf, or whatever shape you desire. Dab with a little soft butter. Then place the loaves on cookie sheets, cover, and allow to rise for another hour. After the dough has risen the second time, nestle colored eggs into the loaves and brush the dough with an egg wash. Bake in a 350-degree oven for 40 to 45 minutes. Transfer the baked cuzzupa to wire racks, and while the breads are cooling, prepare the frosting. Place 2 cups of powdered or confectioner's sugar in a medium-sized bowl. Add a couple tablespoons milk and whisk together for a few minutes until a smooth, glossy frosting forms. Then spoon the frosting onto the cuzzupa, add sprinkles if desired, and allow to set. Buona Pasqua! Happy Easter, everyone! We look forward to seeing you next time on Cooking with the IAMLA. Ciao!